Hello and welcome to the next episode of this series about this Lego room and of course my life. Now this is a mini-series inside the whole of the Disaster series and this is Star Wars episode number 2. Oh, I wonder where I got that idea from. So we are in the process of ripping out the Winter Village and it needs now to go back in. So that is the first port call for this upload. That needs to be thrown back into the corner because we have already measured up the size of the timber that is needed for the Star Wars display that's going all underneath there. So any guesses what we're going to be doing in today's upload? We will be putting all of those into boxes, which I need to get with you guys and girls, and then it all needs to be vacuumed up, cleaned and ready, and then we can work out the amount of base plates that we need with regards to the colouring. We already know how many base plates we need in total because it'll be exactly the same size as the top. With regards to what we've actually done in previous uploads, we have managed to get all of this through as a sort of Rivendell Rapids walkthrough. We will be putting the Jaws set in the water eventually. It all needs to be populated. We've got the Harry Potter bits and pieces in that corner, and then we have got the shadow box. But for today's upload we have got quite a bit to do because I want to get to the point of where I can actually just see the floor. Even if I don't get the timber, I want to be able to see the floor so it's ready for the timber to come in on the next upload. If we make really good progress over the next day or two, hopefully that'll be down, and then that's how this upload finishes. But like I said, we are going to be doing a huge Star Wars display, adding in some of the UCS sets. The barge is actually going to be going up at the top. Yes, that is a Tatooine mock-up on sand base plates. We need to work out in the last upload how many base plates we're going to put it on, and we're going to be doing 9, and that's the kind of thing that we might be doing later on in this upload if we have time just to tweak that a little bit, but I doubt that very highly because, well, time just flies. So I've got lots to do, we've got lots to move, which means things are going to get smashed and it's just going to get chaotic as it normally does. So with that being said, let's get to it. Right, so we really do have a lot to move. Now, I'm not actually going to be putting this back properly. This is just going to get put back all the way across the back because I want to leave as much space on this table as possible if I need a table space. And I have also found a couple more Winter Village bits and pieces in some of the boxes that I've already put underneath the table, which means that when we get back to this section, which will only be, it'll be in a couple of uploads time, but for me it'll be in a few days time, fingers crossed, I can then just put it back and get it look neat and tidy. But if I can have half a table, quarter table of space left, it means some of the stuff that's on the floor can go onto here, and then if I can actually get this table out of the way, that would be perfect. If not, all of the boxes and stuff that need to go in the new clear containers can just rest on here, which allows me then this morning to actually vacuum all of that up, and then later on we can go out and actually get the boxes, and then if I can get the timber at the same time, the timber can just go straight in and it's not then just going to be in the way forever. So we need to get all of these back, and as I do it, kind of just put the Star Wars over with the Star Wars stuff like this, for example, and just start getting it like we did at the bottom. So that's how we're going to get it. We're going to have it look really neat and tidy. Fingers crossed of how that is what the top's going to look like, but we always have to sort of make it horribly messy to start with and then go from there. But I think 9 base plates will be fine. We'll get 9 sand base plates down. I think I said it's on sand. Obviously it's clearly on snow base plates. So we'll have 9 of those base plates down. Then I think we're going to go into 3 base plates of water, and then the rest of it's going to be snow. And we've got little things like this, which is just lingering in the way. It's not exactly small. It's just so, you know, I think this just needs to go on the shelf. I think it just needs to go over there, out the way. I put this out the way for now so it doesn't get damaged, and I'll put it on the shelf later on, and then I don't have to keep doing that because that is, and these again, these are part of a Winter Village project, which clearly isn't going to be happening anytime soon. Some more base plates just there, and then we can just push all of the sets to the back of the table because this is, I say this every single time, my favourite theme. But I have yet to get the new one because we all know it's going to come with a giveaway purchase, and I get that giveaway purchase would be a nice Christmas edition because that, for example, is a very nice thing, and this will actually work very well, as will this because they scale nicely with what is supposed to be the last shop of Q4. So apparently it's going to be a winter bakery with a Christmas wreath on top. So clearly I am going to be getting that, because that will be going into this display and we can make it look very, very neat and tidy. Fingers crossed. But we'll just see. We will see what we can see what we can do. I'm really making a hash of this. So like I said, a lot of this stuff, it's going to all go in different places. There's a lot of pieces just dotted around because, well, it's just an absolute nightmare. But I need to clear this table off first, because there's stuff that's on the floor that will have to go on this table. Then we can sort it out, and then it can actually get put in the correct storage containers. And then there's other bits and pieces like the Ninjago sets. The Ninjago sets on the right hand side will actually go up on there. And this is going to be our Miniland. That nearly went horrendously wrong. That'll be our Miniland display with the Colosseum. I think that's going to go in the corner underneath the Harry Potter, maybe. I think that would look quite nice, because I want the Colosseum back up here, because I think it's just such a visually an impressive looking set. I think it's a bit of a shame that it's not on show, to be honest. So I think if we can get that one back, that will be fantastic. I forget how long this takes to do. There's so many little sets of different bits and pieces. But yes, that is the plan of attack for this upload. And everything I touch, look, I break, which is not ideal. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn you off quickly, just repair some bits and pieces, because I forgot I actually damaged some throwing them over there. Just do everything too quickly. Make this look a little bit neat and tidy, and then we'll catch back up with you. Right, it's not ideal, but it will do for now. Like I said, I will get that in. Probably as a much smaller upload. We'll just do a quick Winter Village 20-minute upload during the week at some point when I've got a little bit of time, because obviously I don't want to keep that messy. But if I need to move stuff and redo it, I can just put this table back on. That goes onto there, put it back in neat and tidy, and then we finish. But obviously I need this. I need to be able to just walk underneath, get the timber in, do whatever it is that we're going to be doing, and have, well, to be honest, I thought there was going to be more space than that, but at the same time, there's a lot of sets on there, isn't there? So I now need to get the Ninjago stuff up. That obviously everything that's on the floor has to come up off the floor, because obviously the timber's going down. Now the Ninjago sets, in case you're wondering, are absolutely ruined. Me falling through a table, and I decided to smash them all, which is not ideal, because these are stunning. Now we have got the city, the boat and the docks in the process of being made. The coaster has taken a nasty tumble. The gaming truck, the Sonic the Hedgehog, all wrecked, all ruined. And then on this side, there's not actually that much. So I want to get, like I said, I want to get a couple of different storage boxes and put some of the sets in those boxes. But as I was doing that, I was having a little bit of a look and a think, which is always never fun. Now, the plan for now is the Ninjago City is going here. It's going to be a big thing, be a nice divide, completely different. The sets face each other and it goes in and it's fine. And then I have to cross that bridge when it comes, or when another big set comes in, because there is the Ninjago Markets, which is big. I think it's 2 base plates, that, isn't it? So this table will take it. It's fine, because we've got base plate and a half, base plate and a half, and 2 base plates. So yeah, this table will be absolutely fine. We've measured it and it will work. The 2 big sets go up the front, and the 2 smaller sets go at the back. Now I have obviously got those storage containers in the corner are for the Ninjago stuff. But then obviously if I can get 3 more of those containers, it just means I can put the rest of the pieces that are on the floor in that corner, use that cube, tidy up underneath this bit as well, and then we should be, he says, golden. But this is why I want it off the floor, because I keep kicking stuff at the front, like these boxes, and it keeps breaking the stuff that I've already rebuilt because it is a delicate petal, is the old Ninjago, and it's gone through hell. And there is an ATTE just randomly walking around in there. So obviously that will be going over on our clone side of the display. Now there's bits and pieces in here, which is Star Wars stuff, and there's just some cardboard stuff in there. So it's not going to be too bad, because if I can get the Ninjago stuff on here, get that off. Now that's the other thing, as I was thinking about it. Where is the Colosseum and the Miniland going to go? Because I said, oh, it could go underneath there. If it doesn't fit there, we're in trouble. Because it was going to go on here. Because it was going to be a really easy display. Big Colosseum, beautiful looking thing. It's perfect for minifigure scale anyway. Goes at the back. Those sets go on the front, and it's absolutely fine. Now, obviously, we're going to have storage boxes and things underneath here for now. And then we can get that done neat and tidy. So the minifigures and things that are on that will need to go into bags or a storage box or something. I don't think I've got an empty container here. So I might have to do this a really awkward way, which isn't ideal. But what I might just do is in there it's smashed. All those bits and pieces are completely wrecked that are in there. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put every single minifigure that's on this table in that storage box with everything else. So it's all condensed into one box. It makes sense, and then I can just go through it when I need to, because like, I don't even know how they end up here. It's just me throwing the batteries around. I'm like, oh, I can't find my batteries with the tiny little batteries. So there's 2 of them up here, so they need to be charged because they're empty. And we have just got lots and lots of minifigures here. So there was going to be, there's a bag. And I think the Harry Potter. No, I went in a proper, didn't go in one of those little things. It was in a proper bag somewhere. These are, they're not worth use to anything to anybody. But we've got a container here with stuff in. I mean, look. See? It's in there. The second bag is still in there. I built half of it because I was going to be doing chops and changes, but now we've got this finalised. I was going to do a medieval display, but now I don't need to worry, because head over to Jay's Toy Collection UK, because we're going to be doing parallel displays rather than just doing like half and half. I'm going all in on this, he's going all in on that, and it's going to look very, very good. Right. This is going to take me too long to think about what I need to do and bore you at the same time, unless you like me struggling and seeing steam come out my head. Another time lapse for you, but let me explain what we're going to do. All of this is going to come off. This table will get clear. This laptop actually has tonight's upload going on and your next week's. I did this last time, so like I said, it gets confusing quickly, so I need to move the laptop over because it is actually rendering the file. It's been doing it for ages. In case you care, it is 24.29 gigabyte in size. So that's emotional and big all at the same time. And as we go around, I want to be putting these, for example, all grouped together. We've got more white, that's grey. So we've got grey, more white, because obviously we're going to have a huge Hoth display. I need greens, I need blues. We know what we're going to be doing with all of these. So is there any more? Is there any more down here before we start this monstrosity? So this bit is where the storage containers I think are going to go. So all of that's just going to get cleaned up at the same time, which would be great. And it's the instruction booklets as well. I've got so many booklets to pick up and do. That is, the turbine has just broken off the fan. I've just hit that with this box. Not ideal. So that's another thing. Where does that huge fan go? Because it can't physically fit underneath the table because the blades are too big. So I think that's going to have to go in a completely different location. But we're going to group the Star Wars stuff. We're going to group the Star Wars stuff together, group the Ninjago stuff together, group all of the Miniland walkthrough stuff together, so I think that's going to end up going over there. I'm going to have to play swap the containers, so you're going to go to quite a big time lapse for me tidying this up, and then we'll just get the Ninjago stuff over, see how knackered it is, and then we'll go from there. Right, that is done, clean, and we've got a walkway. So far, so good. So that's going to come off the floor, that's going to go on there, and then we are going to figure out if I have to put the table back up top to see all the bits and pieces, because like I said, I think with regards to what I'm going to be doing for timing today, that can come off so I can actually just clean the floor up. Just means I've got to move it twice, but it is what it is. And then when the storage boxes are here, straight in, and then we've got to basically get a little bit closer over to there, but we've got quite a bit underneath here, so I'm not going to keep moving you so I don't want you to feel seasick, but we will get this back up and we'll just figure out what we can do. I've got an awful lot of Star Wars stuff underneath here ready to go, and I've just got to be careful how I get this out. Now, annoyingly, I know some of this is broken even more, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. So this boat, for example, was absolutely perfect until I put it down here, all bar one or two bits hanging off. It's just where I'm walking around doing the unboxing videos, I kick something underneath and it just gets squished. Whereas if I don't put anything underneath there apart from a current display, that will not happen. But that is a fully complete, just needs a bit of TLC, boat, which is perfect. So we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna put that on the table. That is, that's a crab. That is the head of this. So that is one of them, and there's the other one somewhere. That's the inside to one of the sets. See what I mean about a million different pieces? So I think what we're gonna do is that boat, to save space, boat goes side on, we should be good there, and then we will get the next thing out. That is part of, I can't remember what that's part of now. It's part of the city, which is pancaked. No, garden, sorry. The city's safe. The gardens are absolutely pancaked. But when this is all lit up nicely underneath here, with the base plates down, I think it'll look fantastic. Because don't forget, I did say we were going to do a Ninjago expansion underneath here and just have a little bit of Star Wars underneath here, but that has changed because of the AT-AT. Basically it is that monstrosity of a grey slab. We need to give it a name. Get in the comment section, let me know what we should name the AT-AT. It needs to be called something, and then we can name it, and then we can tickle it under the chin and pretend it's all nice and cute. So if this is in my way, it will annoy me like it did before, and I will have no choice but just to actually get on with it and repair it. Now you might have noticed I put some of the Simpsons characters up here because somehow they ended up on this table. Pass. I don't know why, but that was fully rebuilt. I'm pretty sure it was actually on the top there, so I'm not too sure why and how that's fallen off. That's a roof of some kind and description. That's the crab. I think it's from inside the lobster bit on the inside of that. Right, this is the docks. Beautiful looking thing this is. That's the dock. So this, when it's fully rebuilt, we'll have to go the other side because the dock is shorter. So I think the dock and the market will go at the back, and then we'll have the garden and the city in front. Boat goes down the middle. That's your display done, he says. Which I could have done right now if it wasn't in, well, it's over 10,000 pieces, isn't it? So 10,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. Anybody good at jigsaw puzzles, and let me know. And then underneath here, see, coming in handy. It's not much space, but it means I can put it there. So we have got Maggie. So there's all the other Simpsons characters in here with all the accessories. So that frame's complete. So let's put all of these characters, just mix all of those up. Don't particularly want to get these lost. And I've got to figure out where we can have the Simpsons. Now I have got an idea, which I actually have pulled the trigger on, for a Jaws display, which is mimicking and copying basically what they've done at Universal, because they actually removed, I didn't realise this, they actually removed the Jaws ride at Universal Studios for Harry Potter. And in a certain area of the Harry Potter land, they actually buried the animatronic of the Jaws, and the other one that they kept, they've now got dangling up by a restaurant. So I'm going to have to, at some point, have the Jaws on the stand or upside down. That's well into next year's issue, but that is potentially what will be happening with regards to that. So I would like to try and have a bit of an Easter egg to the Simpsons as well, because I haven't got the house, I haven't got anything like that, but it is a huge franchise, obviously, and it's a very, very popular thing. It's just where it will go. There it is. Some of my t-shirt keeps, there it is. It's like halfway up my spine for some reason, I don't know why. Sorted, must have dressed myself in the dark. Right, these are all the Harry Potter characters. Now you remember I said, there's even more here. I found more and more of them, that's why they've not been added. Because I think I got basically a bags full of all sorts of different things. Now, how did that even end up there? There's a snow speeder, built snow speeder. What's it missing? Missing something, of course it is. And there's another Star Wars character there. A little penguin-y thing. Just stuff in there. So that is the pirate giveaway, isn't it? That's the shark. That's the shark face. That would look quite nice with the Barracuda Bay. I think that would look nice with. Right, they're going back over there. Just trying to think of now. Actually, there's so much space under there, it's scary. So, that was the Ninjago stuff. There's just a couple of boxes that I will pile, because I'm just going to put this on the table. And then another time lapse, just get them on the table really, really quickly. Give it a quick vacuum. And then it's a case of going off, getting the timber and getting the storage boxes just for, well, it's only little bits and pieces, it's just little bits that have been damaged. I've already shown you that. And then trying to get to this section. If I don't get to this section today's upload, well, it can be done at a different time, because I'm going to have to do it all in one hit by pulling the Ninjago boxes out. So we might do it as a Ninjago upload just with the title. I was going to get far too confusing, because this is supposed to be about Star Wars, not me. Yeah, you know, see how difficult it gets? Right, so time lapse for you. I've got to move one or two bits and pieces until that can start, and then we can just crack on. we are slowly starting to get there. So you can see now the size of all of this. Obviously it is filthy underneath here, and I've got to pick up all these pieces individually, which is what I'm going to do in a second, not as a time lapse, because you're not going to be able to see it, and it's not exactly going to be fun for you guys and girls to watch. I am going to have to relocate the fan. The bait fishing shop will need to go somewhere. I've got these bits and pieces underneath here as well. So I'm in and ahhing what to do with some of these bits underneath here. I don't know whether to take the shelf out completely. I guess it all just depends on the height of everything. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get the 8080 in with that shelf in, to be honest. So I think the shelf's either going to have to come out, or all I've got to do is just cut it and then put another... well, actually, in all fairness, I think I've just got to cut it. I can just have two smaller shelves. There's plenty of brackets underneath there, so it will hold. But I've got a load of minifigures on the floor, the fan, and then there's this box, which is the Alpine Lodge, which needs to go with the Winter Village box, which is just to the other side. So we are very slowly starting to get everything grouped together. And then obviously what's going to have to happen is it's all going to get vacuumed. The timber's going to go down in two pieces anyway. So what I'll probably end up having to do, which is a bit of a nightmare because you're double shifting everything, is give it a big vacuum. Star Wars stuff goes back underneath. The first bit of timber goes down. Those boxes go into that bit of timber. Next bit of timber goes down. And then the boxes get spread out into the groups of the sets that it's going to be. Then the balls go underneath, so this thing then can get rebuilt, go underneath the stand. We can base plate Hoth straight away. Got to figure out how many base plates that's going to be, so that's why that's going to be in a completely separate video, because you need to work out how many base plates of each one is going to be. There's no way that's going to happen in this one, but if we can just get this completely clear, and if I can go off and get some boxes, that'll be brilliant. Right, quick update then of where we are at. Apart from a mess, we're doing okay, I think. So I've put all the Star Wars stuff together, minus however that Dino car's ended up in there. Just about to start giving the floor a very good clean. Of course, the battery ran out, which is nice and embarrassing. So that's now on charge. Just hit you on the roof, caught you though. I picked up all the pieces, obviously, so I didn't want to bore you with all of those because there are small little bits. Oh, everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. But I found some more Ninjago bits and pieces, so that is definitely going to be happening in its own completely separate upload. And I think I'm going to have to do that bit separately as well, because I can't really link that to any of the Star Wars stuff. But I have got this out, so that's ready to find a home. The little walker is out, obviously the ghost's out, but I've just found the droid that goes with. I've put the jetpack on Boba. Found some more of these, so there's the third Cantina member, which is fantastic. And then, like I said, we'll be having a bit of a play with that. The T-Rex is not obviously going to stay there, nor is the AT-TE. And I have just found the lightsaber for Luke as well. Now, talking of Luke, is this the original Luke from the first playset that came out, or is this just a pilot? I can't remember if that is actually Luke or not, because I've just found him in a bag. Now, I do have, I think, the original set that Luke Skywalker came in. I'm not too sure if that is the correct minifigure. So what I'm going to do off camera, because it's going to be very boring, is pick up every single one of these, and I'm going to work my way back. That is just going to be me crawling on my hands and knees, which is not going to be exciting whatsoever. I've grouped all the manuals together, so obviously they will be going in its own tub. And then I put all of the Christmas stuff on that tub as well. So we are grouped. We just need stuff to put things in. Then I can just basically get on with it and just crack on. So I can't do much until that's charged. Well, I can do quite a lot, but I need to get that charged, get that clean first, start putting that stuff back, and then just keep utilising different bits and pieces of space. I will try and get the boxes obviously today. If not, it'll still be in this upload. It'll just be tomorrow, and then yeah, we can see exactly where we're at. So I will catch back up with you when this floor looks a little bit better than what it does now. So it's not perfect, but progress has been made, and we actually have a half clean carpet. Now, obviously I need to wet wipe the back which actually has become a bit of a problem. Now, we'll start off with the negative, as we like that on this channel. With the positive, I went off to get some timber, and the second I arrived there, I realised that the sheets that they've only got are 2.4 in length. Now, this would have been a 3-metre cut because of how it's been cut, because it's 140 by 150, and then we've got a little bit extra with it going back to the blue wall. So we go back from the blue wall to here, it actually works out to be 170, and then that is 150. So it's 3.1 is the length of the board, I think, is what you can get. So it's just over 3 meters in length, which is what these two are combined, which makes perfect sense. And why it's actually become a bit of a headache, because I can't figure out the best way to cut up a 2.5 board without having to buy 2 of them. I know we're going to come round here later on, but I don't want to get 1 board and then get an offcut, because the offcut is 1.2 by 600 mil, and I could cut the 2.4 board up 4 times at 600 to give us the 2.4. So it would be 1 meter, 1.2 by 600 wide. Do that 4 times on 1 big board, and you get that for £23. Or you buy 1 board for 17. So you can see why I don't want to mess it up, because if I have to buy another board, it's just going to be really annoying. But then at the same time, I am struggling to think of the best way to do it. And now, the reason why I didn't bother is because the dimensions I wrote down were exactly what I've just said. So it's that to that, but the depth, for example, that is 73, and then over here I think it's 80 something, so 85 I think it is, or 80, yeah, 85, which that is okay at 85, but the length won't be correct because we have a skirting board of some sort underneath. Now I'm going to have to remeasure everything, and I think we're going to have completely different dimensions. So I have just moved, funny, all of the Winter Village stuff to figure out the timber, because I couldn't see it from the top with how it's all been joined together. And it doesn't make a difference because the bottom is completely different to the top, because I didn't take that into consideration. Didn't take any of this into consideration. Now, obviously, I could go over this and then start spending a small fortune by adding in some of this. But the 80/80 is quite tall, and I have a very sneaky feeling with how much this sticks down to how much that would stick up. I think the 80/80 would headbutt every single one of those. So this will be turning into an arts and crafts. Now it's ready and it's done. So what I can do is just put down the base plates for Hoth as a, well, for a visualization. Visualization, there we go, get the words out, because I want to see how many base plates we lose with regards to the width and the length. And then what I'll do is, obviously each base plate is 10 centimeters, and then we can just go from there, because I think it kind of makes sense, because this is all custom, cutting it to a base plate. So if we can cut it to 3 base plates or 3.5 deep, we can go from there. We are going to lose a little bit, and then obviously don't forget I've got to cut round that leg as well, which I did plan on. I just didn't plan on that bit at the bottom. So that's going to be a bit of a spanner in the work. So we're either going to be measuring it up now and laying the timber in this one, or that'll be the first thing we do in the next one, because I don't know if I have to go to a different place and get a much bigger board, which won't be open at the weekends. Because I've gone to basically the local hardware store, which is always open, but their biggest board that they do at 12 mils 2.4, and like I said, this was a 3.10, which, if I am going to be going that way more, which I think I will be over a period of time, I can then work out what I'm going to be doing underneath these tables, because I have a plan. I don't know why I keep putting you down and grabbing you. Very, very grabby. I basically want the display to go underneath this, but I'm not measuring it from there, because I actually made a secondary piece in that corner, because the timber itself is actually only flush to that wall. So when you come underneath, this finishes just here, you know, you can see that finishes just on this corner, and then I added on basically an extra leg and all that kind of stuff underneath, just to be able to put a set in the corner because I had nowhere to put it. So what I don't want is anything here, because I want to be able to see through on the displays that we're doing, and then potentially come across. So it'll be like maybe half a table back. So I've just got to figure out if I'm going to be coming off this and going down that way, and then we just store stuff behind the table, or we have a bit more room in front, because that way a 2.4 wouldn't be a problem, because I could potentially go further back and then kick across. Am I confusing myself? A 2.4 would be a problem if I wanted to go all the way that way. A 2.4 wouldn't be a problem if I wanted to... No, other way around. 2.4 wouldn't be a problem if I'm going to go that way, because it's got to be longer than what it already is, then I can use the offcuts, that's it. Because obviously if I'm going to go the same as this, it needs to be a 3 metre, 3.10 in total. So I'm either going to have to order a board or not, but we will go by the base plates. I think that's going to be the best thing to do. But being down here, in case you didn't know, bits of detail has been added in over a period of time. That's been broken, fantastic. And I found some more elements from this, and obviously this is a cool looking thing, and it does work, which is brilliant. Now, moving on from the negative, positive. I picked up some storage units which are exactly the same as what I've already got, so we know that they will fit underneath that table. So they will go directly underneath the Jurassic Park, 1, 2, 3 on top of each other. They are the exact same size as what I got, happen to be from two completely different stores, two completely different brands of store, and they saw the exact same thing, so that worked well for me. They do have more, so what I will do is, if I am going to get this timber from there and figure out how I can bodge the bottom, and I need some more, I can do, because I've got plenty of them there. If not, we will be good to go. But I am slightly annoyed that I've ruined all of this for basically no reason, because we're going to have to measure it from the bottom. But the nice thing is I've got space. I've got plenty of space. I need somebody that's much better at maths than me as well. So Jay, you're going to be getting a phone call sooner rather than later. Right, so let's go with the new measurements and just see how much of an awkwardness this is going to be. This is all good fun. Now, in case you were wondering, I don't know if this battery is charged. It is. Can you see the metal flake in the paint? So it's all been repainted a long time ago, ready for some sort of Star Wars thing, and it wraps around and it goes from there. So we were good to go. Now I think you've got some light on the, yeah, I think that is. Right, so we are losing 5 centimeters is what we're losing, which is quite a lot. So if I go from, I can't, annoyingly, so if that is, that's 1.2. So 1.2 meters is the red. I know it's upside down, which isn't ideal. So there is 1.2 to there. And then we've got a little bit of a gap at the end. Now the width of the board is 1.2. So if I was, that's a huge difference. Because I was going to ask them to cut it in shop, because I don't particularly want to have to hand cut it all here, but I can't get them to cut the board 4 times equally, because this side is different to this side. If it was just the length that was different, that would be fine, but it's not, it's the depth as well, because the depth of this, he says, looking all fancy la-di-da, is if I go from there to there, depending on if we're going to the inside of the leg, it's 77. If we're going to the outside of the leg, it's just over 80. And ideally, we want it right to the leg. So we are looking at 80. So I can just use that as a safe number. So it's 80 by 125. The board is 1.2 by 2.4 meters. So that's basically the width of the board with a single cut at 80, and that would go in there. That's absolutely fine. But I just don't know if we have to cut the board and then cut the board again. Because this now, the corner's a bit of a pain in the backside, because if I only did it at 120 and didn't go all the way to the wall, I'm going to have this gap at the back. So I don't know whether if we cut this bit and cut this bit again and I had an offcut, I would then be able to basically cut a square offcut and drop it in. That was my thought process, because if I go from there to there, no, I did not know that. Huh. Tape measure is double-sided. I've never in my life seen a double-sided tape measure. Fantastic. That's a great design. So 28. 28, so that's just over 70. That's 80, that's 70. So that's 150. And the board's 120. So I can't use the widths that way. But we're not going from that, we're going from that. Which we will lose, I reckon, quite a bit. This is the bodgiest way to do this, I know. That looks roughly straight. So that is 57. So we've gone 57 down. God, we can't have lost that much. There's no way. No. 67. I'm like 57. Yeah, 67. So if we come out 70, I'm going to kick that all day long. Which is a problem. I have no idea actually what you've seen then. You've probably seen the back of my head, but 70's there. Light bulb. And that is sticking well past that. So I'm going to kick that all day. So it needs a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of working. So when I have made a little bit more space and probably got this table out of the way, I will then actually measure it properly with a pen and paper rather than just saying it out loud for the first time and not really thinking about it too much. I just don't think I'm going to get the right cuts out the board. I'm going to have to buy more than one board, but then I'm going to be left with a load of timber, which is not what I wanted to do. Because they just do the big bits. Because like this bit would be perfect fine. I could get that bit in, get that bit done, and probably get it to maybe the Disney castle. Yeah, we'll see. Right, I will stop waffling because my head's hurting. I'll give this a quick tidy and get all the bits and pieces in the storage containers, and then we will play the game of where are they going to go. Right, these are starting to fill up very quickly, and we got all that rubbish on the floor. But what I'll do is I will do all this off camera, get the table up, and then we'll be ready to put the Star Wars boxes probably on the Ninjago table for now, which then comes back all the way to the Star Wars stuff, because obviously this is supposed to be a Star Wars upload. It's a reach, I know, but we are getting there. But keep on track with the Star Wars. I have found another minifigure, so maybe the one on the left-hand side is actually Luke. Or they both are. I have no idea, but I know both these are very, very old minifigures, so they will be plonked into the cantina, I think. So what I will do is I will get all of these, obviously, boxes where they need to go, show you what they look like, and then we can get straight underneath this table with as many base plates as I can find, and just work out how far I think I can come to, and then I think I'm just going to get the wood cut to the base plates. I think that'll just make my life a lot easier. It's either going to be 3 or 4 base plates. I think that's all we're going to be able to do. But until I actually get the base plates down, well, we're not really gonna know. It is turning into a bit of a nightmare, that. But like I said, we've got a box of just stuff. We've got a box of instruction booklets. These are perfect for that, and I will have this one probably on top, ready to fill, if not been filled up, because obviously I've got more of the booklets everywhere, so there's more of the borrows, all that kind of thing. They just get so easily knocked off each other when they're just stacked on top, and then they just get mixed up, which is just sick and tired of looking for bits and pieces. So hopefully we'll have a nice storage, under storage on this corner. I just really hope that the ladder will fit. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine, he says. So fingers, really hope that when I put the second box on, it's not just been teasing me with that one box there. I just hope that the ladders aren't in line with that box. Otherwise, well, it's been a complete waste of everybody's time, yours and mine. So I will do all this off camera and then move the table, and then we'll crack on with the base plate. So I have done a thing. The storage is in, and as you can see, the table has gone. Now, obviously, the next bit I'll do is all this stuff on the left-hand side, but this is supposed to be a Star Wars project, not to tidy up my life project. So we are back to this. So I will get the base plates down first, just to see exactly what's what, and then what I'll do right at the very, very end, I will just give this a quick wipe with a baby wipe, because, or wet wipe or whatever, just because, oh, that's all it is. It's just brick dust that has fallen down, I think, probably before it was painted, and I was just too lazy to actually do anything with it. Now, I have got a bit of a problem, because if I have to order this board in, not that it's going to be a big problem, but if I have to get it, say, for example, at the end of next week, I don't want this display looking like this for that amount of time. So what I'm going to have to do, which is going to be really annoying, because it means I'm going to have to double shift only a few things, is the balls is going to have to go on the floor on the base plates, which then will allow me to actually do this display again. Like I said, absolutely pointless me doing that. So all I can do is put the table back on, they go on there and they come back off, and that'll just be done as, like I said, a quick sort of 15-20 minute upload, completely separately. I've got all the base plates and everything there, but before I can actually do that, I need to use the base plates for spacing to see what it would look like for the 8080 with the balls and everything underneath, because that is something that I wanted to do with you guys and girls at the end of the video. So we are getting close to the end. It's been a long one. I've literally been all day. So normally this happens over a long period of time, but I have been going now at 7 o'clock at night. We've been out for road trips and all that kind of thing, and we're getting there slowly. So I need to put 6 base plates down underneath here. I don't know where you can go. I don't know if I can just place you. Can I place you on there at this slight angle? Can you see? Yes. Okay. Right, we'll go from there. So the idea is where the balls is in the corner. That is going to mirror that. So that is what's going to happen. Obviously, it's not going to be on white, but as I was using them anyway, I think I can get away with it. I think. I might be a couple of base plates short doing this, and I might end up just having to take some off, but the balls is on 6. This really isn't what and how I wanted to do it, but we're going to start with that. Now, that is already a problem, because the good grief, that sticks out so much more. That is madness. Now, me being an idiot, it is actually 6 base plates that way. That's how big that thing is. So it is 6 that way. But straight away when you start to do this, you can see where that 80/80 is going to be. God, these things are massive. Because how many base plates are besides that? Let's have a look. So, I know this all has to be done again, but this is for me to figure out how many base plates in each colour to order the packs. Now, if we do another 6 there, we know that we've got about half a base plate in the middle, there or thereabouts. So there is where the blue is. That would actually be the water up top for the next display. Now, so that's 12. And then over this side, we've got 1, 2, and another gap. So how much space do we leave between each display? Now, if I can, I would like to have the balls right off that corner coming in, but I've got a bad feeling it's going to be past that table. And the reason why I don't think it shows on camera, but the reason why this is going to become really awkward is that I knew 3 base plates wasn't going to be feasible. It would have been with an overhang, but I didn't want that overhang, so I thought, right, 2.5 base plates, that's absolutely fine. But I don't think it's going to be half a base plate. If it is, it'd be very, very tight, because that's what there we go. It is, all right. Whew. It is literally exactly 2.5 base plates until we're in line with this. So I can't come past that point. So we'll have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, technically 13, 14, it's 15 base plates of space over these displays. Now, we know that Chunky Monkey takes up 6. We know what is going to be going here will take up a huge amount of space as well, and the 80/80 is already here. So for future expansion already, I need to go underneath there. Or this is, I knew this was going to be a headache, but I didn't think it was going to be this much of a pain in the back sides. God, these things are huge. Right, so at least I know I've got 2.5 across that way. Depends which way I come, doesn't it, with regards to, he says, with regards to this display on the left-hand side. Because the back row is the back row, obviously. But that is got to be close to, that's another half, near enough half a base plate. Oh, is it about a stud off? If we did that, you can see about half a stud off, which is going to be interesting, because I guess I get 2.5 this way, 2.5 this way, and it's equal display space all the way round. Because obviously, of course, what I do is we come off that wall 3 base plates and we close the gap that way. So the base plates, it doesn't make a difference, but the back row is off by half a base plate. And it kind of starts, if we use the green as our example, because I think what I could do is if I pulled that one out and brought that one over, oh, I see him, and do that, that's where this line is. That's really freaky. So hang on. I'm saying that, and obviously I don't want to be standing on it, but if I did that, I would be, I think. It'll be close. I'd never stand that close to it anyway, because that's the outside of the leg on the outside, so I think that's it. So that's as far out as we can come with the green. And I need another, that'll do. And that's as far forward as we can come from the other table. So that is hopefully now a visualization of where the back wall is to that, and then that back wall is to that. So the big question I have to ask everybody, and including myself, which obviously I am going to sleep on, is this display the biggest on the left? Do we make it 3 base plates deep, and then the next display starts where the green one is? We should then finish there, but then the 8080 would start like there, because I could have brought that over with that gap. Because if you go green to blue, that's 3 base plates, so that's your balls. That's so bad. So that's your balls. And then that's your 8080. Now I just didn't want, I think maybe it would work if it was angled. It's not going to work forward facing, because I think the 8080 is 3 base plates, and obviously I've only got 2 depth, 2.5. We know it's 2.5 now. So this was measured for 3 and 3.5, I think. We were doing 3 and 2 or something, I don't know. But I definitely know that we've lost a lot of space, because obviously we've lost it both ways, haven't we? So I reckon we've probably lost close to half a base plate in total. In fact, no, well over that. That's half. Yeah, 1, 2 base plates into overall with that, because obviously the length of what it is, which might not matter. It might not matter. But the reason why I'm like going on about how many base plates do we have for what sections, don't forget they're going to be different colours, and I need to order multiple packs of these things. Now Hoth is easy enough, it's white, it's down, it's done, it's going down there somewhere. It's just what we do with the others, which is going to be a bit of a pain in the backside. So I will grab the balls, we'll put the balls down. Who's coming up? Is that Pumpkin? Hey Fluff. Hello darling. And with the help of Pumpkin, we will figure out the positioning of that to how much space that thing takes up. The balls are in. It is missing a nut at the front, but that's just on the top of the desk. Now, I have angled and wiggled this about quite a bit off camera. I think that's the best angle that I can get to basically not eat in to the next display as much. So as a visual, I need, because I think if this, in fact, if I just move those, now as you can see, I've actually moved the white out and put the green and grey. Potentially what we could do is have Hoth from there. Now this was the original plan, this is what we're hoping to do. Now if I can do that, I think that's going to be a much better way, because all I have to do is basically whatever this is, what colour this bit is, will match this bit, I think. And we just have it with the other set because it'll all match, and then we just have all the bigger pieces there. So basically from this bit to here is one display, and then the 8080 can go in the middle, and then that does give us an option then of cutting back in front or going further back that way, depending on if we want to get another one. But I have put the tape measure out so we know that that blue is the colour. So that is where the next one, that's where the next one will go, so on, so on, so on. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a, what have we got? We've got a full grey base plate at the back. That's 16, and then we've got less than 16 just there. So it's going to be off ever so slightly. So a base plate will have to get cut, which is fine. But that there does allow us then to have Hoth in the middle, and that's what I was hoping for. I was very worried that that would eat in a lot more. Now I think the only advantage is that actually where the back of this has quite a lot of length is above the skirting board, so we don't lose that much space. So the next thing I've got to think about is obviously the shelf as well. That will be coming out, but I don't think it'll be happening in this upload because I need to figure out exactly where all of those little spaceships are going to go. Now, I think I'm not going to actually have this on the stand. I think I quite like how it looks not on the stand, because it's flush to the floor, and it does mean make it look like the minifigures are actually just coming out. So it does look like it's landed. Obviously, I will remake the stand back up and look after these two minifigures massively, but I don't think it needs to be on there. I think it looks all right not. Now, the other thing that I am now thinking of after this whole debacle is now I've actually started to put the base plates underneath. Don't actually think it looks too bad just on base plates. I don't really think it needs to be on any MDF, but I will sleep on that and think about it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to wrap it up. It's now getting quite late and I am quite tired. We are doing something which is great. Actually taking a step back for the first time. That's what it's going to look like. So yeah, just flush to the floor. I don't think it looks too bad. All the base plates are just flush down. We'll see. I might change my mind and raise it up. I suppose worst case, I could actually just put the base plates down first, and if it needs something to go underneath it, then I can just pull it out and do it. Just do it again. But the wingspan on the balls is huge. I have put the missing testy back in at the front, and you can see the big balls on the side as well. So they're all there. So I think what we'll do is from where it's green, have it as sand / dark brown, alternating kind of rockery type thing. 8080 in the middle, and then that leaves us on to the next phase of this walkthrough. The only thing is I will get the dimensions of the 8080. I'll get them up on the laptop tonight. He's choking on my own phlegm. And then see if it will actually go in the way I was hoping it would go, because we said originally it was going to go that way, but I can't remember for the life of me if it's 2 base plates long or 3 base plates long. So, well, you can see what the problem's going to be, because we've got a 3x2. Well, we've got 3x2.5. So that's the other thing to remember, because I could, like, yeah, we'll play with it tomorrow. I will see if I can find any more of these, because I've got them in different colours, and it'll be a little bit easier to have a visually see on the camera. Get them out, get the back cleaned, wrap this video up, and then think about what I'm going to do with that table. So today is a new day. I apologise, I am still waking up with my chocolate milk, aren't I cute? Right, so I have started to try and clean the back with the brick dust off. It's starting to come off, it needs a little bit more scrubbing and it should come off okay. Now I was thinking last night and first thing this morning what to do with this shelf, because that is going to be one of the next things to think about. Does it stay on? Does it come off? Not 100% sure with regards to that of the best thing to do, because if we had the 8080 for example in front of it, you could potentially have a load of bits and pieces on top, so we could actually mimic dioramas with maybe smaller ships above on the shelf. So because we've got the ATT walker, rather than that having it on the floor, you could potentially have it on the shelf. Same thing with the small ship up there, same thing with the next thing, and so on and so forth. So not 100% sure what to do with that. Now what I said I was going to do is actually get the dimensions for the 8080, and I didn't, did I? So this will be live research quickly with regards to just how big that 8080 actually is. So we are looking at 25 inches in height. So that's the first thing we can go by. 25 inches in height. So it's a big, big, big thing. Look at the size of that. So that's the loop coaster is, it's to the bottom of the L on the loop. So it's a big thing. So can we get that in and underneath on, well, we can get it under here, which is fantastic. Turn it upside down. So that is how far it comes above, but that's also how much we're going to lose. As you can see now visually how much we're going to lose on the carpet. I think it's going to stick out too much. Right, it is also, it's 28 inches deep and it's 10 inches wide. So it's a base plate by nearly 3 base plates. So if I get you, I'll put you back down there. Put you back down there. So 28 is there. So it is too long to go forward facing, because that is what we've got to play with, which means his little head is 3 inches too long, which is a royal pain. So let's have a bit more of a play, because this is how we're going to end the upload. I'm going to have to get the timber in a different upload, just because of the time schedules, I'm afraid. But like I said, this is going to be a big project. Now, before we do wrap this video up, I also need to think of the other colours to use as well. So it would quite happily go at the angle like that. Not a problem whatsoever. So we can have it angled, and then obviously if we wanted to put more of a vicious angle on, we could have it to here, because we've got up until that base plate. That is our reference marker. So it's 2.5 this way, and then obviously we can pick and choose what we're going to be doing with this. But I think the angle would look better than that, because we have got the opportunity just to put it on completely side on if we wanted to. But I think maybe having it angled, you would see the side and the front, I don't know, until it's built. But I don't know if it would give a better impression if it was just a big block side on, or if it would look a little bit better angled like that, because obviously that is angled, that'll be angled, the next one will have to obviously be angled. It's just to get them in. But obviously if we have them angled like this, you then have a big Right, this is our display space, isn't it? So all of this would be Snow Trooper battle packs and all that kind of thing, and then we could potentially have this little happy chappy at the back, like so. So he would go there, whereas if that was like this, would you even see anything across the back? Now again, we could just have it pushed all the way to the back, so it went like that, and then you have the huge thing up across the back of the wall, and then obviously all of these, everything else just goes in front of it because it's so tall. Now that's not a bad shout. So it's either going to have to go all the way across the back. Now the nice thing is obviously there's going to be no gap with these base plates. Those base plates are going to be squished, and because the 8080 is going to be taller than the balls, the head's going to be up there somewhere, so it doesn't really matter. So we can actually have the base plates touching, and the sets aren't going to be on top of each other, which is nice. But yeah, it's got two options. Does it go all the way across the back as a backdrop, like what we're going to be doing up there with the sail barge, and then the actual set and everything is in front of it? Or do we have it where we have a diorama all the way around it? I quite like the look of a diorama all the way around it. Visually, I think that might look really impressive, because that way you can have stuff underneath the legs, you can have stuff behind the back wall, you can have stuff in front of the wall, and it gives, it's almost like a 360-degree diorama if it was at the angle. Or it's very much a case of it's across the back, you've got your own little zones, you've got three little base plates up at the front, there you go. That's, well, you've got 3.5, haven't you? 3s and 3/2 as base plates to do any sort of little Hoth diorama. So you could just fill that up with battle packs, and that's it. So you could just do that, nice and simple. That's one display, or you do it a little bit more fancy with the other. Now the other thing is the colour of the base plates that are going to go here. Now we know that we are 3 deep on this side. Well, 2.5, sorry, 2.5. No, lying to you. I've moved the tape measure, haven't I? It's 3.5. I keep getting this bit mixed up. There's the tape measure, Muppet. So we're 3.5-ish. What are we? Let's go to here. Let's just do it from this back wall, so we can actually see how many we are. It's not quite 3.5. We'll say 3 to be safe, because that's to the inside of the leg. To the outside of the leg, it could be cut to fit, but we'll go with 3 all the way. Now we could have one big thing all the way across the back, which is going to be the cheese, and that is on black base plates, if I can find some so it looks like it's flying in space, because the big cheese normally is, unless it crashes on a planet. Then we can have a lot of blue, because there is an episode where the clones get invaded on their planet, and it's a full-blown war, which visually would be very, very different, because you can still have every single type of clone and every single type of t'other one just fighting against each other, which would work. Or obviously you go for tan and you do a Geonosis type thing from either the Clone Wars or the film. But the balls is also used in that episode of the water, and with the new supposedly set that's been leaked for 2025, that set is also used in this episode of it, where it is also on the water and it is also in the film. So I don't know whether to have 4 black, 8 blue, or we have 3 different coloured base plates but all linking into the Clone Wars, where underneath here it's all tan, strip of black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8 blue. And that way we make three different dioramas up, but all using stuff from the Clone Wars. It's either having one big looking same display like we do with Hoth, or we mix it up with three different things. And ideally I need to figure that out sooner rather than later, because I need the base plates for the other bits and pieces as well. So I will that'll be something that I will be thinking about and we'll be looking at in a little bit more detail in the next, probably the next upload. Because what I'm going to hopefully try and do now is we're going to wrap it up on this one. You can see what I'm trying to do. You can see where we're trying to get to. I was thinking, oh, maybe we won't need the any timber underneath. And to be honest, it doesn't bother me that it's on the floor whatsoever, because when I was a kid, I always used to do stuff like that on the floor as well. I think everybody did, so I don't think it makes a sodding difference if the display's like this, because it's cut off from where you're walking anyway. But the only problem is if you push down on the base plates, and then the base plates don't line up, and they do that. And it's not until you start getting some weight on there, like if I do that, for example, is it going to flex because it's on carpet, and is that going to be really annoying? Because that is going to be really annoying, but that's the 8080's obviously got some weight. So we're going to go ahead anyway and carry on with the display up top, because that's going to be the next thing. So I've got a week or two probably to think about what we're going to do with regards to the colour of the base plates, to get them ordered, to then get the timber in, and then start making up some dioramas. Because what I am going to be doing for the rest of today is the sail barge is going to come out, which means hopefully the next upload will be attacking this. And if it's not attacking this, it'll be putting all of this back, because I want now to redo the top of this table, because well, I ruined it for absolutely no reason and it really annoyed me. So guys, that is it, and I am done. So if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you next one. Ta-da.